All right.
Right. Yeah, in our last session, we completed the test for test grep and directory where we had empty directories and then empty directories with subdirectories with files and then some without them. And we had tests for them and we finished tests for those. And we went on to discuss approaches on how we can uh, concurrently grep through our directories. So yeah, this is one approach that we mapped out where we're expecting a map of file name and then the matches inside a slice of string. And that is from each coroutine in a streaming fashion into grep. So let's move on to implementing that. And we'll see. Yeah, so for this approach, I will have to use main because main itself is a Goroutine and I need to use channels and worker functions inside main. So I'll just go with the pseudocode first, where I write get list of file names, then we start a routine for each file name. Then a subtask would be send the from each channel. Till here is this right? Or do you have improvements that you can suggest?
So remind me again what we concluded on whether so the API contract for from the test point of view will be a map, right? That means the order in which things complete is not deterministic, and we are okay with that. Just want to ensure like whether that's the case or what is the, because that is an important point on whether we want to go to the tests to also be reading from channel or all the channel magic will happen inside the main code, and from the point of view of test it is a blocking function.
So we established that the directories and the files get read lexically. That means in this test data structure, it'll go test data, dir4, dir5, test3, and then dir4, test1, and test2. I think we should aim for that output itself. But we can do
That means the order in which the files are written is predictable and deterministic, right?
Yes. The files are deterministic, so I think the output should also be that way, so that we don't have to move a lot of stuff around in the test.
Correct. So then we will make the test code will have channels, or it will have a API which is non-channel based, meaning the entire channel logic will be inside the main code, and purely from a test perspective it is the result will be same what we have right now.
Yeah, so that's the goal where
Okay.
channels do not factor into the test. We just
Cool.
use them in the main.
All right, so then the main, the current grep function that we have in main becomes more like an orchestrator, and then we add
a worker function.
Correct. Inner functions which are like run in a Goroutine or whatever, and then the blocking will happen in the main function.
Yes. Yeah. So I think we need to change one thing where instead of grep in directly, we'll have to do a grep in file. So here we're doing an IO reader directly. Instead of that, I want to pass a file name and a source string, and then it should give me an array of grep result. Just grep result, not even an array.
Right. So,
in opening the file and passing the reader.
Correct. That is what we are doing in the main code somewhere, right? If yeah, here.
Yeah, this one. Okay, so do I just copy this into my function that I want to use in my worker function?
I think we just need to, we can refactor this existing function itself, right? Because we are not changing the contract. So making just we are just changing the implementation. So having the channels and everything should be a part of this function. So that way it will return the grep result, slice of grep result.
Yeah, so instead of slice of grep result, because this is where we are iterating over an entire directory.
Correct.
What I want is every coroutine to return one grep result.
Yeah,
and
right. So
then
that
we'll
Goroutine
orchestrate
can
that.
be called from this function only. And we will collect all the output in this function. So this is kind of our wrapper function, kind of.
Okay.
Kalpesh, if the contract remains the same, if we are sending back the grep result, how are we going to ensure the ordering?
I think we ensure that by from the right. So the map cannot ensure using the map, right?
Yeah, so we'll have to change the sequence.
Signature.
Yeah, so something like this where
Say that again. We will return a same, right? Slice of grep result, not a map, right?
Yes.
yes, yeah.
But slice can
no.
have the proper ordering, right? You can collect the result from all the Goroutines inside this grep in dir and then put it inside this slice. So this will be ordered.
Correct. What we can do is we can return a slice, but the results in the slice will be appended at any order in which they complete. That also is an option.
Yeah. But then that will break the test.
Or what we can do is we get the results back in a map. I mean, we collect the map data from all the Goroutines inside a map. Then we iterate the map through file names, the list files.
Yeah, correct.
So that is what I was aiming for, where
and then
like we get the file names and then start the Goroutines for each file name. And since grep result already has file name and result, we'll just get that.
So I think one is to just make it explicit on the assumptions, because I think we discussed this last time also, and we haven't just documented this. If we had documented this last time, we would not be talking about this again and again. So if you can just write down as a somewhere as a like very clearly what is the expectation of the problem that we will. So if I understand correctly, now we are saying that we will assemble the results in the lexical order.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes, the way we are getting list files, the way walk directory is working.
That also means our grep execution across like multiple grep executions are deterministic. They will produce the same result if the file content and the search string hasn't changed. Correct.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So let's just write down.
So
part.
Yeah. So in this thing, the list of file names, like getting the list of file names, is not concurrent. We'll do that first, and then for each file name, like we'll range over the file names, and then for each file name, we'll start a Goroutine with grep inside it, and it'll return us one grep result struct with all the data, and then that will be passed on to a channel.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, and then inside main, I want to get the result out of the channel into a map with the file name as key, and then this array of string like result, so that we can print out of it or do it.
Are we doing this in main or?
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. And this needs to be done in the same function, right? No need to make
Yeah.
changes in the main. So that way, the function signature will not change.
Okay. So I create the channels and pass the channels onto the worker function.
Yeah,
from
so
inside the function
inside the
itself.
same function, you can do that thing, right?
Yeah. So yeah, inside. Yeah, I think this should do it. Okay, let's just start with it. So do you, since we don't have to change the test cases, we just start coding it out. So for each file,
Suraj, just one question.
Yeah.
Are is the channel of grep result or a map of file name and grep result?
I think with just grep result we can get away, because in the end we'll use this, the list file. Yeah, we'll use file names to get values in order out.
But then in the end, you'll have a slice of grep results, right? Then
Yeah.
are you going to look at every single element, check its file name, and then append?
That might cause the receiver to block until like that particular key is populated, or it might just get locked.
See, this thing is totally related to performance, nothing related to correctness of the implementation. So yeah, whatever seems easy to you for now, we can go ahead with that, and then later on maybe you can replace it with whatever data structure we require.
Yeah. Okay, just to be clear, so Kalpesh, according to you, I should put grep in a Goroutine and then get the result and then append to
Correct.
grep result, right?
Yeah. So
okay,
from this Goroutine, so whatever Goroutine you are calling, and we are calling this grep function inside that Goroutine, and it will post the result to the channel, and the receiver for that channel will be appending the result to the map. So before this for loop, we need to create the channel, one channel and one map.
Yeah. I'm not bothering with buffers right now. So for the map, it will be grep. String and then something like this, right?
Grep, not for grep result, but we can have this for the slice of string.
Okay.
Oh, wait, if we have that slice of string, then again we need to convert that to the grep result for return, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go with grep result for now.
Yeah, grep result. So repeating of the file name is okay for now. Maybe we can think that later.
Just for the purpose of ordering, we have to repeat it.
Yes, right.
So yeah, we get the file names here. Yeah, need to put this part inside. Comment this part out. I need to do the entire like orchestration of making grep result inside.
Yeah, so you can copy paste from line number 72 to 79, or even that part. Yeah, that portion. Yes. Correct. So whenever there is an error,
So now we don't need continue, right? Because
correct. So it is
not in a for loop.
correct.
So if there is error, we return the error, or we return a grep result which contains an error instead of a result.
Yeah. And then we keep.
So now we are calling this as a Goroutine inside the for loop. We may need to send the file as a parameter to the Goroutine.
Yeah.
Another thing is I don't know whether we can return a value from anonymous Goroutine function, right? Like where will it return to?
There is no, so we are not returning anything, right? We are just appending result to
We
the.
are just appending it to the result.
Got it. Okay. So on some line there is a return which we just need to.
Yeah, so that return is basically just stop that execution. But again, here we are appending result to the grep result, right? So instead of that, we need to send it to the channel.
I think grep is not thread safe.
Correct.
So this will go immediately something like this.
Correct. And you may need to pass the channel.
Yeah, I think.
And then file name as well. Correct.
Wouldn't it take as the closure?
The file?
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
It's a better practice to pass, but
actually, like,
no. So whenever we are making a Goroutine call, so that file variable is always be the last one, right? It is changing. So you are making a Goroutine call and then iterating over to the next file. The file variable itself will be changed. And if you use that same file name, then it will be always be the last file for each and every Goroutine, not the file which we open for that particular iteration. So that's why we need to send that file variable as a parameter to the Goroutine.
Understood.
Yeah.
File. Just file.
Okay, so it's going to see. Now
Now before this for loop, yeah, so you can remove those lines
this
which
one.
were earlier, right? To from line number 84 to below.
-6. Yeah.
Now here, scroll up. Okay, so here we need to add the wait for the channel, right? For loop to receive the messages from the channel.
So send a wait group also. Na?
Okay.
Sync.wait group. No, that was correct. Just WG.
Just
Star, and then star sync.wait group. Yes, and pass ampersand WG.
so yeah, so
Add
this thing,
in the beginning.
add in the beginning.
No, so add should be before calling the Goroutine, and done should be inside the Goroutine.
Sorry.
So add is nothing but we are saying that these
Yeah.
many threads we are running. So that should be before starting the new thread. And in the Goroutine, make it defer. Right.
And then do a wait over here.
Yeah.
I don't think, should it be inside the loop?
Inside
Should be
the
outside, right? Should be outside the loop. No? Otherwise, it will add one.
Otherwise, yeah, it'll just
Wait group has to also be defined outside the for loop.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
So that is
Yeah, mostly it is because if you delete those comments, then it will be visible in the single screen, Suraj. So that will be easy to understand the code. And after wait group, close the channel.
Yeah, so I almost think of wait group like are those tokens, right? Like imagine you have to give tokens to people, and each token will, like with the token they can spend something and do something with the token. So
yes,
you are giving one token to everyone, and then once they're done, they mark it as done. The wg.done is going to give you the token back, and you started with, let's say, 100 tokens. You got all the 100 tokens back. That means all the work is done. It's kind of like that.
correct, right.
Yeah,
it's a counting semaphore, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's
also
a technical term.
Yeah, I think we should pass file name as well, because we're creating the result using file name, but we're not passing it.
So one other suggestion is it possible to move the, like, instead of using an anonymous func as a Goroutine, is it possible to name that function? That way it will be easier to look at also on the eyes in some way, right? That the function definition can be outside this for loop. It will have a name so that we can know what this function also does. Right now, this single function, I know we are not in the refactoring phase right now, but to start with itself, we could do it that way.
Got it.
Otherwise, this one function is already like 50 or whatever lines long.
Yeah. So
the call will be there, but yeah, the function will have to be named something here.
There is a way to just right click and refactor.
Yeah, extract should be able to extract the function outside this.
Select
Second, I think.
check refactor, extract.
Yeah. Channel. Yeah, this is.
Yeah,
channel represents- yeah.
Land is
I
usually
don't
not
think
that
we'll need
awesome,
that.
but
Yeah.
And now you can remove the anonymous function inside.
So it's taking a search string. File name, then file. Wait. Represent IO.
Yes, os.file I think implements reader interface.
Yeah, but
You can keep it as IO reader.
C gets populated with the result and if it's another this. Yeah, now I think I'll have to do.
Return is fine.
Yeah, return is fine.
what we can also do for that return is if you just go down, what we can do is we can create a grep result as a variable and assign its value to either the erroneous grep result or a successful grep result, and just append that variable to the channel as the last step. So we don't need a return specific return on line 88. Right. So the idea is if the error is not nil, then we want to create a different grep result.
Yeah.
Else we want to create a successful grep result. So that is what we do. And the appending is duplicated in line number 84 and 91. Right. So that appending can be moved to a separate single line. That way the intention of the code is also easier to understand.
Yeah.
So after at line number 82, maybe you can declare one more variable where result and grep result. Yeah.
Type grep result.
Grep result. And
then assign
at line number 85 and 92.
Yeah, result
equal to
that grep result.
Yeah.
Just remove C and that. No, you don't need to put inside the channel. Just mark it as result equals to grep result.
Yeah. So instead of C and then arrow, replace that with result equal to.
Just
not colon, just equal to. Remove the return.
The result variable name is duplicated, right?
Acha, result is.
Yeah.
That is not going to be error result all the time.
It's a grep result.
I could just do this. here because that another grep result is.
Then we can do an else. Grep result equals to. We can copy this line 96 and 97.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it also makes me wonder though, like what is the difference between grep result and a result? So it is kind of confusing, very similar sounding names or different or what things. So what's the type of result?
Array of strings. So I'll just do it as matches.
Yeah, so use shift F6 for refactor. Okay, and the func name will have to be updated to use a real function name.
Should I just do it as poker because that will be super clear. Something like this, or should I do like a concurrent grep?
Concurrent grep. Con grep sounds like an evil grep.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I immediately saw that. I was like, change it. So yeah, somewhere here, I should add the search string channel that I created here. Then the file name itself, file
Ampersand,
ampersand.
and then go concurrent grep. Right. Okay, and
So I just list out what we can iterate. So in this for loop, when we're iterating all the file names, for each file name, else open it, it'll give the IO reader onto the concurrent grep and it'll pass that IO reader and it'll grep and it'll exit the for loop even before we have a result from this. So the idea is to start multiple routines and then use the channel to get the results from there. So we don't bother if like one file is taking longer to search or the second one is shorter. So we don't have to wait for the longer one to finish for the second result.
okay.
All right. Now
And-
we need to collect the results from the channel. So that needs to be after line number 55.
Should we start another go routine for that?
So after line number 55, create a go routine where we will keep word on the channel.
So should I do this in anonymous one or do I move it out?
Yeah, for now, just create an anonymous one, then later.
This should be a small one.
Yeah.
We can.
So here, actually,
We are
Call
trying
it.
to put the data in ordered grep, right?
Yes, right.
Okay. So get the data from the channel.
yeah. So it'll be
For
Should be for.
no, so for as a range for. So that way, whenever there is a message in the channel, it will iterate till the time it will just in the waiting state.
okay. So do you want me to do something like value and then open?
What is that open?
Open is it'll let us know if the channel is still open. If it is not, then
We don't need to handle that.
Yeah. So just val or yeah, colon equal to range channel. Right. Again, these variable names we need to change. So
Yeah.
C, maybe we can have some better name, and then val instead of val, we should have some better one.
So C is giving me an array of grep result.
So C is basically channel for the grep
Just
result.
giving me, yeah, individual grep results.
Correct.
not Array. So I don't want to use result.
Grep result. So what we can do is ordered grep.
Inside the for or outside?
Inside the for.
Okay. Yeah, ordered.
In the brackets. Val dot file name equals to and we need to put the matches, right? Result. Okay, you can put the whole equals to val because line 55 pe
yeah.
values
using,
are of type grep result.
Yeah.
Just val.
Okay, so we're just rearranging what we got in the channel into like an index.
Correct. At line number 62, we need to make a function call for the Goroutine. No, after closing the bracket. Yeah.
Open close.
Correct. Now we need to make sure that we need to exit from this Goroutine as well, right?
So maybe a dumb question. Do we need to pass the channel to this Goroutine, anonymous Goroutine, the C channel?
No, it is taken as a closure, and since C is not changing in any.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So in the for loop, we have to pass that because it is changing for each and every iteration. Here it is not changing; it's the same single variable.
Correct. Range. We are ranging over it, so we just that's
correct.
Cool.
Right.
So whenever a result comes in, we just put it into.
Yeah, and for signaling purpose, whether all the files are done with the reading with that grep result, we may need to have one more channel there to just for whether it's done or not.
Yeah, done channel. So like a typical select
boolean. Correct.
So
Suraj, you remember that issue that we are facing that we need to put the done inside this 59 Goroutine.
done inside 59.
What happens is, let's say the Goroutine that we had called for grep, that has put some value in the last one. It is putting some value, and it does wg.done. So our wg.wait exits and then prints everything out and then finishes the execution while this line 59 Goroutine is still running.
Yeah.
So us case mein we can miss the last values which we were facing in the afternoon.
Yeah, which we were facing when we were demoing. Yeah.
Instead of doing done in that particular Goroutine, we can do a done over here in 62.
Yeah. So this will be just channel. Then do I pass it to this function?
What is this done for?
So after for loop, after for loop at line number 62, just send the true to the done channel. Right, done arrow true.
Okay.
Right. And after line number 83, just wait for that done channel.
Okay. In this case, we won't need to do a done over
Yeah,
there.
after close, maybe, Suraj, after closing
yeah.
this channel. Yeah, maybe one more enter, so that way it will be separated out.
So
Just get
here I
data
just
from done.
close.
Arrow and done.
Okay.
Less
Yeah.
than done.
Yeah,
You want to read a value
not
from
space.
this channel.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then close that channel.
So done channel is a very standard pattern that is covered in one of those videos as well, right? The concurrency patterns in Golang.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think this we still need
Now
to-
after, yeah, so after this line number 86, we have all the files which are read and we have the result in the map now.
ordered correct.
Correct. Now we need to, as our signature, as per the signature, we need to return the slice of grep result. So in the grep result slice, we don't have anything yet. We can make a for loop to keep the order. We can for loop over all the file names and get the result from the map after done channel.
Yeah.
After closing the done channel. Yeah. Here.
Range over file names.
Yes.
Yeah. Again, like multiple variable names. So
No, that is the
Local.
scope of that file name was done there. It's fine to define the file name again.
Range on file names.
File names, not on the
file names.
map.
Have we created the slice that we are going to return?
Yeah, we have the
Yeah.
947. So we just
Yeah,
keep
it's already there. We just need to
Okay.
append the result.
Yeah.
And result we will get from the order grep.
Yeah.
Again,
Uh,
we need to think of the name because it is not really the order grep result.
Hmm.
Yeah. So for now, let's write that and then we can.
Correct.
No, grep
No,
result.
no. Grep result is not the map, right? It is array slice. So we have to write the append. Grep result equal to append grep result.
yeah.
Append grep
Grep.
result.
Ordered map. File name.
Yes. Now, one more thing, we can make sure that we can check whether the result for that file name is available or not in that map. So maybe you can add those guards as well, if okay, if found okay or not. Yeah,
Yeah,
before appending the
so-
result, you can make
yeah.
that guard here. Correct.
So it'll be something like
If underscore okay.
if
Underscore comma. Okay.
Yeah.
Ordered grep file
Order
name.
grep of file name.
yeah, I think this was exists. Right?
Then
No.
we can append.
Semicolon and then exist.
Uh-huh.
Now append it. Correct. So this is just to make sure that we have the result inside the map.
Right.
Okay. Shall we like run the test?
Yes.
Okay. I'm
And-
little bit worried when it is run without any issue at first time.
Yeah.
Can we change the text inside the file so to just confirm it if it fails?
Yeah. So we are searching for
Search underscore string, I think.
Test grep in dir.
so search string we are searching for.
Put dir 4 wala.
dir for, yeah, this is dir for.
Yeah, just add one more line, right? Just copy paste one line and add it again.
Huh.
Any case should be okay, right? We just want to see if it fails for the reason. Yeah, just copy paste that line. That's okay.
No, that wouldn't fail, na? Because we are searching for.
That will fail because we have predefined what the result is going to be.
And what are we searching for?
Search string. So it found one more match, but we only defined.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So it did fail for the right reason, right?
Right.
So this is it, and then yeah, it found.
So can you open test1.txt?
Test one. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Understood.
Yeah. Okay. Just run this again and then I'll commit the code. Yeah. Dot password. Oh yeah, this resource link. Does anybody have a solution for this?
Don't defer. You close it at the very end.
Acha. So something like this where
Yes. But again, a warning because we are not handling the error.
Yeah, not ideal, but let's see. We'll solve that problem later.
so I'll just ignore it for now. Because
Do we also want to look at any other way in which we can refactor, or we need to refactor? Can you like make this bigger? The just yeah. Correct.
so yeah, I think
So grep in dir is yeah, ordered grep, right? It is really not ordered. The name variable is
Yeah.
wrong. So we should
Result map.
yeah,
No,
yes,
not on.
never change like variables directly. Just refactor use the refactor shortcut.
shift.
Shift F.
Excuse me, shift. Yeah. What was it? Shift.
F6.
6. Yeah. So what should be the name? Naming is one of the hardest problems.
What does this contain?
Result map maybe.
Unordered. Yeah.
Result map or grep results or
Yeah, grep results, something like that.
Unordered grep doesn't sound right. So
so if you make it grep result, then the grep result array
yeah,
again becomes a
We need to refactor that name as well because it should be a grep results. It's a
I think
slice, not a.
typically any convention, like general convention is if it's a single string or a object or a struct or whatever, you can use a singular name. But if it's a plural, like it's a bag, right? It's a collection. Collection can be a list or a map or a set or anything. It is usually named with a plural, that is like grep results or file names or things like that.
yeah. So here, map.
Grep result map, would that work?
And that is
Unmapped grep result.
yeah, I mean we don't have, again, the amount of thought that we can put in the name is directly proportional to the scope of the variable. That means
Yeah.
if a particular variable is just inside a particular method, then it's okay if we just make it duplicated, or we don't put in a lot of thought in it, because at some point we are losing, we are trying to balance readability with
Productivity.
yeah, of sorts. I was looking for that word. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like grep results, I guess, or what
So
grep
we are
results
thinking
should
of-
be the
yeah, this
variable name.
variable.
correct, right?
Yeah,
That is
this
correct.
should be made into grep results.
So then,
this can go into
result map.
unordered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Result map.
Because either way, we are using this map internally just to convert it to a proper grep result.
Correct.
Right.
I believe Rohan had the same suggestion. I think result map or something like that.
I would put S to the end of the slice for the variable.
You would put as the
Like the way you written grep results and the grep result.
yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
How about well? Again, it's a channel name.
Yeah, channel name. I think C is the convention.
But don't refactor. I think that will cause an error. I mean, it will replace C everywhere. Will it?
Yeah.
So I think that can be
No,
chosen.
it will be a single C character, right? Not the
Yeah,
C
so-
inside others.
Yeah, so here I can do comments and strings and then text appearances as well. So I think like
Go also encourages almost smaller variable names.
Right.
for
I,
channels.
J, C. So I guess, I mean, C is probably not a good name, but we know what this channel, as long as we know what this channel is for, it is probably okay. So we can see it's a channel of grep results. So probably C is still fine, I guess.
Yeah, and there's only one main channel.
Correct.
No need to confuse
And
on.
there can be typically only one grep results, right? Like otherwise we are going to, like if we name the channel also grep result channel, then it's going to be again so much duplication of grep result everywhere.
Correct. Yeah.
All right.
Line 60. That val. That is actually a single grep result, right?
Yeah. So
Then you can-
R could be or result, grep result, or again typically for loop
Yeah, single character should work.
should be okay for now.
Yeah. Maybe GR, something
Yeah,
like that.
GR or whatever.
Oops.
Yeah.
Okay, I think push these changes and we can end today's session.
Something failed.
or the extra line, right, that we have in the file.
No, I think I removed that. So, a directory containing one text file.
So in directory 5, text 3, yeah, it is returning empty.
Yeah.
No, the first one. Yeah, this one, correct. So in the text 3, it returning empty array.
Because we are searching for the
Text
string
3,
file.
yeah. So for test 3, we're searching for search string. Text 3 as well. But it's not failing at that test. So that test is passing. One empty subdirectory.
No, that is failing, right? One text
Oh
file
yeah,
it is
yeah. This
failing,
one is also failing.
and
One text file.
one more is failing with the multiple files.
Yeah, two tests are failing.
Here the search string is different, as you can see.
Like file and yeah, both are file. So test 3 should have 2 matches. And this is PR4. So I'll have test 1 and test 2. So yeah, 3 matches should be there.
So if you read the error, it says file already closed.
I think the file